friends, welcome you all to my YouTube channel. Okay, here I'll be dealing with the PUC second year syllabus. Also in later classes I'll be dealing with PUC first year syllabus, and also in later classes I'll be dealing with SSLC syllabus too. So in order to get the newer videos of your syllabus, please subscribe my channel. So whenever I'll be adding my videos of the new classes, you will be getting the notification. Okay, coming on to the today's class, we are dealing with reproduction in organisms. First of all, starting with the reproduction, every organism is going to reproduce in its life cycle. Okay, how it is going to reproduce and what are the methods, how each organism is going to reproduce. Those all things we'll be learning one by one in today's class. An organism which is going to reproduce, the younger ones, we are going to call such young ones as a offsprings or progeny. Okay, reproduction is a biological process where an organism gives rise to the young ones. For young ones, we can also call as offspring or progeny. Now you all understood. Okay, this mode of reproduction, everything is involved in a phase of an organism. Okay, that phase we are going to call it as a lifespan. What actually is the lifespan? Lifespan, actually, it is the period from birth of an organism to natural death of an organism. We are going to call it as a lifespan. In this period, it may undergo growth, it may undergo reproduction, everything. That period we are going to call it as a lifespan. So, lifespan will be varying from one organism to the other organisms. For example, in mayfly, what we are finding, the lifespan of a mayfly is only 1 day, where it is going to complete its life cycle. That means it is going to take birth, it is going to take maturity, it is going to reproduce, later on it is going to die. Within 1 day it is going to complete its life cycle. So lifespan for mayfly is 1 day. Next, coming for elephant. Lifespan for an elephant, it is about 60 to 90 years. So don't be confused between the size of an organism. Size will never matter for an organism. As the elephant is larger, so it is having the larger size. It's not that. You can go. For example, you can take an example called parrot. It is going to live for 140 years. You can go for tortoise. It will live for 200 years. Coming for plants, we'll go for banana. It lives for 25 years or less or more 25 years. Next, coming for banyan tree, which is going to live for 200 years. Next, coming for sequoia. It is also a plant which lives for 3000 to 4000 years. So, in this fashion, an organism is going to vary in its lifespan. Okay, not all organisms are having the same lifespan. It is be varying. Okay, next we'll be starting up with the reproduction. Reproduction of an organism is of two types based on the involvement of the participants. That means how many organisms are involved in the reproduction. If only one organism is involved, we are studying it under asexual mode of reproduction. If the reproduction is involving two organisms, so we are studying it as sexual mode of reproduction. So in today's class, we will only concentrate on asexual mode of reproduction, how it is seen. Okay, here in case of asexual mode of reproduction, only one parent organism is involved. Okay, and the offsprings also which are produced by these parents are similar to this parent, both morphologically as well as genetically. In case of sexual mode of reproduction, what happens? Two organisms organisms are involved, there is combination of characters. Okay, so only, for example, as we are taking birth from the same parents, we are not resembling to our brothers or sisters. Okay, but in case of asexual mode of reproduction, the organisms which are being reproduced by the same parent are resembling not only to their parents, even to the clones. We are going to call those and them as a clones. And now parent organism which is going to give rise to a set of clones or the similar individuals. All organisms will be bearing genetically as well as morphologically similar characters. We are going to call such organism as a clones. Okay, the term called clones. Okay, here what happens? In case of asexual reproduction, the mode of division is cell division. Cell division itself is the mode of reproduction. In our case, what happens? We are getting some kind of hurt. Okay, later on what happens? This hurt is being healed by cell division. But here, such kind of small, a primitive thing, a simple thing called cell division helps a mode of reproduction. Okay, cell division, specifically mitosis. Here, you should please go through what is mitotic cell division as well as meiotic cell division. Okay, in case of mitotic cell division, there is nothing called as reductional division, no separation of the chromosome, no recombination of the chromosomes. Okay, the whole parental chromosome what is present is been equally distributed to the daughter cells. Okay, and that daughter cells will be having same genetic information what the parental cell is having. So the offspring which is being produced by such kind of parents will be similar to the parents. Okay, here mode of reproduction is by cell division, and main thing it is the cells are being divided by mitosis. Okay, next thing, here we are not seeing any kind of gametes formation. Gametes are not formed here. So gametes are not formed. If gametes are not formed, we can't even see the fusing of gametes. So no fusion of gametes. In this fashion, asexual reproduction is carried out by the different methods. Okay, first thing will come across the budding. And we'll also come across the binary fission. What is this budding then? Budding is an unequal division of the cell. Cell is not going to divide equally. It is going to divide unequally. Example we can see in yeast. You people know yeast is a fungi where most of these are used in bakeries. Okay, this yeast is going to form a small peg-like structure. Okay, later on it is going to keep on growing, and which remains attached to the parental cell, and later on it detaches from the parental cell completely and grows an a new individual. In this fashion, unequal division of mode of cell division is seen in case of budding of yeast. Okay, here fission is of mainly of two kinds. One is binary fission and another one is multiple fission. In case of binary fission, what happens? The cell divides equally. The best example is amoeba. Okay, this cell divides equally, giving rise to the two daughter cells. From one parental cell, the nuclei keeps on dividing. First nuclei divides, later on complete this cell is going to divide. Though it will not be having a true nuclei. In this fashion, the binary fission is seen in amoeba, where in such cases where one single parental cell is going to give rise to a two daughter cell, we are going to call it as a binary fission. Where it gives rise to more than two cells, we are going to call it as a multiple fission. Okay friends, next first thing we have studied with the budding, and second thing we have studied with the fission. There are some special asexual reproductive structures too. We'll be studying now. students, now we will be dealing with the special structures in asexual reproduction. Okay, first thing coming to zoospores. Zoospores are microscopic in nature. Okay, the best example is Chlamydomonas. Chlamydomonas is a unicellular algae. Unicellular means only one cell is present in that organism. Only one cell represents that organism. So, such kind of organism we are going to call them as unicellular. in case of asexual reproduction, it is also called as uniparental type. Okay, because only one parent is involved. So, only one cell is involved. Here what happens? It is having a flagella. These structures we are going to call them as flagella, which are motile in nature, which are helping to swim in the aquatic stream. That organism is going to divide, and it is going to divide longitudinally, and it is going to form a large number of spores within a sac-like structure called zoosporangium. Okay, these spores now we are going to call them as zoospores. Okay, during unfavorable condition, this kind of spores are formed. Okay, when reaching the favorable condition, the zoospores are released, and from this is zoosporangia. This is sac-like structure we are going to call it as zoosporangia. These zoospores are released, and they are going to give rise to again a Chlamydomonas cell. Okay, this is all about the zoospores. Next, coming to conidia. The best example for conidia is penicillium. Penicillium is a fungi. Okay, it is a fungi. So, what all this structure of penicillium we are seeing, we are calling it as a mycelium. Okay, penicillium, for example, where you can find is whenever you are cutting a lemon and you are keeping for a longer time. Okay, what happens there? Some kind of blackish appearance you can see, right? That is nothing but some kind of fungi called penicillium. Okay, which we can take it and see it in under a microscope. There will be getting the structure called mycelium. Large structure of mycelium will be seen. Okay, where we'll be concentrating on one mycelia. When we'll be zooming in, it will be appearing in this fashion. This mycelium will be here, and it will be having a conidiophore. On the conidiophore, a small sterigmata is going to arise, which is having a swan neck shape. On this sterigmata, there will be large number of sterigmata. Each conidiophore will be giving rise to 3 sterigmatas. Okay, so how many conidiophore? There will be large number of conidiophore also, and this sterigmata will be giving rise to the conidia in chain-like structure. So, this fungi will appear in a microscopic as a brush. Very beautifully it will be appearing as a brush. So, in this fashion it is going to appear. Okay, when one conidia is being detached from the another conidia, there will be a disc which will be attaching these both conidias. When it will be detached and it is being released into the air, this conidia will give rise to the small conidiospores. So, on reaching the favorable suitable substratum in favorable condition, this conidiospore is going to give rise to a mycelium or the fungi called as penicillium. Okay, this is all about conidia. So, now we learned about zoospores, conidia. Next, we will be learning about buds. These are also a special kind of asexual structures, and they are also called as gemmules. What are these birds? These birds are adventitious birds. These are found on the hydra. Hydra is an aquatic organism. So it is attached to the substratum. So these are tentacles. So this hydra is going to be a small bud-like structure. Okay. So this bud-like structure, in future cases, it keeps on growing and it forms a small hydra-like structure. A hydra-like structure. Okay. This, when detached from the parent body, it can grow on. It can go and attach itself on the suitable substratum in the aquatic media, and it forms a new individual like the parental type. This is all about the buds. And see, buds when grown externally, we call it as buds. Buds when they are grown internally, we call them as gemmules. Okay, here gemmules we are seeing, this we are seeing in hydra. Example is hydra. And here gemmules we are seeing them in sponges. So when these are being grown internally, there is a small micropyle from where the cell keeps on dividing. During favorable condition, these are released outside, and when coming in contact with the suitable substratum, even they are going to give rise to a new individual. This is the outer membrane and this is the inner membrane and this is the micropyle. This is all about the asexual mode of reproduction. Now we will come for the plants. Reproduction in plants. Okay. In case of primitive plants, we can call it as asexual mode. Okay. In case of higher plants, we are calling the term asexual as a vegetative reproduction in plants. Okay, don't be confused about that. In case of vegetative reproduction, here first thing we are seeing is a runner. See, runner where we are seeing. So example is grass. Best example. Whenever you are seeing a grass, or in Kannada we call it as garke hullu, where we will be worshipping it for a Lord Ganpati. Here what happens? Here that grass is being connected to the several plantlets. Okay, so what happens here? It is arising from the stem. From the parental stem, it keeps on creeping on the ground. It is going to creep. At reaching a certain point, it is going to give rise to a root as well as shoot. Okay, this forms the newer plantlet. In this fashion, the parental plant is going to give rise to the younger or the new progeny by the vegetative mode with the help of runner. Okay, and this runner is not having any kind of leaves. Next thing we are going to come across is offset. Offset. Here, best example for offset is pistia. Or you can go for water hyacinth also. Okay, what this pistia is doing? It is similar to that of runner, but this runner is not the aquatic form. It is the terrestrial form. Terrestrial form means you all are understanding. Okay, on the mud they are growing. In aquatic form means they are growing in the water. This pistia plant, it is having a swollen petiole, very swollen petiole, and later, why the swollen petiole? In order to keep the buoyancy, so that it can float on the water. So it is having petiole andre, it is a stalk of the leaf. Okay, and at the nodal region, it is also giving rise to root-like structures. Okay, here it is going to give rise to a small offset. On coming in contact with some distance, it is going to give rise to a root on the lower side and shoot, or this is a hole. This hole is a leaf. Okay, this is swollen petiole and this is a leaf. In this fashion, what happens? It is going to give rise to a younger plant. This is called as offset in pistia. Okay, you people are getting? Please don't get confusion between the terms as well as examples. Please browse the examples in the net. You people will be getting a clear-cut image of the offset as well as runner. Okay, next thing what we are studying is sucker. In case of sucker, the best example for the sucker is banana. Here a vertical, see, root will always gives rise to a root where that roots are going to go towards the downer side. Okay, but in case of sucker, what happens? Root starts to emerge vertically. If this is a plant, These plants which is going to produce roots are always facing the donor side. They are positively geotropic, okay? But some of the root will start to grow vertically. So such kind we are going to call at the nodal region of this stem, okay? So stem-like structure is arising at the nodal region and which grows vertically. We can detach that plant and we can grow into a new area as a newer plant. So this is all about the sucker. Okay. Next thing, sucker is also a these all things are the modification of the stems only. Okay. Next thing what we are studying is rhizome, where you people are calling it as, best example for this as ginger. We people call it as what we'll be using for the food purpose. So this ginger, when you are observing very keenly, what this ginger is showing? It is a rhizome, best example for rhizome. So at the apex, so in this fashion it is having large number. Okay, at the apex it is having large number of buds, this ginger, and these leaf scars you people can see on the ginger, scaly leaves scars, and these leaves at the nodal region, these leaves will always arise from the node. So stem, it is the only stem, the difference between stem and root is stem is going to bear the nodes as well as internodes. So we are going to call all this as a modification of this stem. Please remember, my dear friends. Okay. Here in the nodal region, what happens? This is node and this is internode. In the nodal region, we can see the small scaly appearance. Small scaly leaves are going to appear in the nodal region. Okay. The leaves are not there. In the area where the leaves are not there, we are going to call that area as a internode. Okay. At the terminal position, we are going to see the buds, bud-like structures. So even these are helping in mode of propagation. Next thing what we are going to study is bulb. I think all of you are similar with the onion. Okay, onion, it is a very fantastic thing that onion is having a very condensed stem. Okay, stem andre you will be seeing so big large stems, right? Here you people are seeing heavily condensed stem. I have drawn a little bit so it will be visible for you people. It is having highly condensed stem. What you people can, in order to study this, please take an onion, cut it longitudinally. You can see a beautiful section in this fashion. It is having a fleshy leaves. Yes or no? Can you see this way? Leaves are present. On the donor side, you can see the roots. Okay, these are fleshy leaves and this is a condensed stem. This is the best example for the bulb. Even this helps in propagation of the plant. This stem along with a small part of the stem and leaf, you can propagate this bulb. Bulb I too. See, now we have finished with runner. Please don't get confusion. Offset, sucker, rhizome, bulb. Next we'll be going with tuber. You people are more similar with the tuber too. Best example is potato. When you are seeing a potato, you can see eyes on it. Yes or no? Not your eyes. These eyes or this region we are going to call it as a node. I said you earlier, nodal region is going to bear the leaf. Here, the nodal region is going to bear a bird-like structure. And where the nodes are not present, that region from this end to this end, we can call it as an internode. Okay. And this bud, we can propagate it by taking small amount of some amount of potato as well as this bud. We can take it and we can propagate it. So we are finished with tuber, bulb, rhizome, sucker, offset and runner. Next thing is a leaf. In case of leaves, best example for the leaves is a bryophyllum. Okay. In case of bryophyllum, what happens? The margin of the leaf is going to bear a small little plantlets with a small amount of leaf roots. So whenever you are placing this bryophyllum leaf in moisture content or the high humid rich or a nutrient content region or on the soil surface, what happens? This when it comes in contact with the surface of the soil, this bryophyllum leaf, if at the marginal region, it will start to produce a small plant like structures, which is going to see what these roots are bearing is on the outer end. For example, you can see in this side, see this is a small little plant like it is going to bear in this fashion the roots. So you can detach this small plantlet and it can grow in a separate medium. So this is called as leaf buds. So in next class we'll be dealing with sexual mode of reproduction. Okay. Thank you friends for watching my video. Please like and subscribe my channel, because whenever I'll be uploading a new video, you people will be getting notification. Thank you.